Hey guys, Majungasaurus Productions here, and welcome to my 2023 haul. Yes, you heard that right. Haul videos are returning to the channel. And what a way to return with this first part. Yes, this will be a double-parter. And in this part 1, I will be featuring 8 figures that I've gotten. Which is a lot of figures. But without further ado, let's move on to our first one. Alright, starting off here we have the Mattel Zuniceratops. Now this one actually was a gift from Naturally Ancient. And I gotta say, seeing it in person, it is a really nice Zuniceratops figure. Here's a little 360 of it. I wish I had like a turntable, but it's the best I can do. So here's the side view. Here's it from the front, from the other side, and from the back. Now, I love the coloration on this figure because it reminds me of more like older dinosaur toys, like a Chat May or Jurassic Park Kenner, and it just really has that it has that vibe. Now, here, let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. Now, after this, I'm actually going to be touching up this one's paint job, as I plan to do a wash over it with brown, as well as add some cool patterns to the frill. I hope to be doing a follow-up video on that. But yeah, the Zuniceratops has pretty limited articulation. You got the legs, the arms can move. Wow, the arms can move actually pretty far back. Oh wow, okay, they can do a 360. What about this one? Oh, the frill gets in the way of this one. But yeah, speaking of the frill, the neck can move down, up, like that, and it can twist, like this, all the way around. That's cursed. But yeah, this is the Zuniceratops. Not a bad figure from Mattel, and pretty nice addition to be the first one in this haul. But things are going to get crazier from here, as second we have the Mattel Jurassic World Iguanodon. Oh, the focus. There we go. But yeah, this figure has a pretty cool ability where you press down on the legs, the head moves forward, as in like an eating motion. You can make it look like it's eating. But yeah, in my series, I've changed the name of this species to Mantellisaurus. And that is because the Dominion Iguanodon, if you look at the shape of its body, it more matches that of Iguanodon mantelli, or Mantellisaurus as it's known now. So, this is Mantellisaurus. And just like the Zuniceratops, it doesn't have a lot of moving parts, but the legs can move. They click into place for the action feature. We also got the scan code for the back. There we go. Yeah, let me adjust camera. But yeah, legs move, the front limbs move. Also, okay, the back limbs do not move out, but the front limbs do. The head can be positioned pretty limited movement, but still movement nonetheless. But yeah, that is the Mantellisaurus. And now we move on to some more articulated figures with the Hammond Collection Ankylosaurus. I love this figure so much. I'm just gonna say right now, this is a definite Mattel W figure right here. Absolute amazing figure. And part of it is down to the paint scheme. The paint scheme goes all the way to the tail. Now that's something that the Zuniceratops actually has as well. It's one of the rare Mattel figures that the paint goes all the way down to the tail as well. But here on the Hammond Collection, I really like the colors. And the tail. We gotta talk about this tail. The segmented tail is so good. I want to see more figures like this with segmented tails. I love this. Like the variety of poses you can just get it into, like, let's go for like an attacking pose like that. Oh, it's gorgeous. And the way they like dry brushed or like airbrushed this fade from this color to this color, oh, it's beautiful. Even that, yeah, this figure has some really good dry brushing. Or airbrushing, in a way. Like, if you look closely, there's like a wash of like scales. Like, or like there's like a color in between the scales. Here, let me, I don't know if that comes across that well on camera, but wow. Also has a little bit of subtle orange underneath the eye, which is a nice touch. Overall, this figure, I would give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason it's not 10 out of 10 is because of the weird jaw articulation. I feel like the joint could have been here and there could have been a seam along here. As well as that, the claws aren't painted like most Mattel figures. But aside from those two things, this Hammond collection in Kylosaurus is a masterpiece. It really is. Now moving on to our next set of figures. Sorry, that's my chair. Let me go get them. This is the baby Diabloceratops set from Beast Mesoic. Let me zoom in. Professional YouTubering here. These guys don't like to stand sometimes. There we go. Okay, let's get that focused. But yeah, this is the baby Diabloceratops set from Beast Mesoic. And these are the first BO-Team babies to be released. I sure hope we get more babies of the other species, like the Torosaurus or the Styracosaurus. I would love to see those. But for now, we've got these three little goobers. I love them. Like, for how small they are, that you can get a surprisingly good amount of poses out of them. And they're adorable. Like, look how adorable these things are. They're so cute. I love them. I like to put them around the shelf in like different spots. You can kind of play like find the Diabloceratops. But yeah, and they look great compared to the adult. Oh, focus. I always gotta remember I got manual focus on this camera. The old one had like autofocus, but this one has manual focus. But yeah, speaking of the adult Diabloceratops, let's bring that in. Here it is. The Mama Dibble herself, with her 3 hatchlings. And as you can see, they look great together. They absolutely look great together. And I'm kind of glad I waited to get this figure alongside these 3, because I love Diabloceratops. It's one of those species I've wanted in the collection for years, and I only got around to getting it now. And I'm kind of glad I waited this long, because I love it. I just love it. From the red coloration to these beautiful blue like little speckles on the frill. It's so good. It's so good. But nothing could have prepared me for the next figure. And this figure. This is one hell of a figure. Introducing the Beasts of the Mesozoic, Fan's Choice, Toro Flippin' Saurus. My goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have to zoom out. This thing is ginormous. And it's so, it is really heavy. Like, you have to get this thing in hand just to appreciate the sheer just amazingness of it. Like, this thing, I weighed it, it weighs 2 pounds. And has some really good articulation. Okay, first of all, oh gosh, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? Okay, first, let's take a look at the head. the head on this figure. From the beautiful eye spots on the frill to those long, piercing horns. This head is amazing. And pretty accurate, too, for Torosaurus. We got a movable jaw. Very nice. Excuse the cars outside. I don't have good sound barriers for this room. But yeah. I love the little patterns around the eye and the stripes on the face. Especially that blood red on the frill. It's beautiful. And when you look at it from the front, man, this thing is intimidating to look at from the front. Like, just look at that. It really is gorgeous. But yeah, along the back we have these beautiful little spots. And if you've ever seen the Triceratops from Saurian, kind of reminds me of that. Also, this Torosaurus' inspiration is from the Toro from Walking with Dinosaurs. Although I like how David from Creative Beast kind of, you know, like took that inspiration but did his own like little twist on it. So it's not exactly colored like the BOTM, like the WWD Toro. It's its own thing as well. Now this tail, I'm gonna talk about the tail for a second. This tail is so hard to put on. So if you get this guy, I'm gonna tell you, just remember, put this tail like, or at least like in a hairdryer for at least like 5 minutes. And then pop it in, because this, if you don't heat this tail for long enough, it will not go in. And as you can see, there's kind of, oh, gonna break my own setup. There's kind of a little paint chipping from where I tried to just like squash the tail in because it just wasn't going in. And I finally just heated it up for long enough and then it finally went in. But yeah. I also had to heat up the joints for the arms and the legs and the neck as well. Like this thing, all the joints were really stiff when it first arrived. So yeah, it just took a bit of heating up, and even then the joints still are really hard to move, especially the knee joint and the arm joint right here. Those two are the hardest ones to move. But other than that, look at how easy this is. Oh, yeah, I gotta remember that. It's a ball joint figure, so it can pop in half easily. My Penta actually done that as well, the Pentaceratops. So yeah, just be careful of that. But yeah, you can easily pop it back together since it's all ball jointed. But yeah, that is the BOTM Torosaurus. And I gotta say, it was worth every penny. This thing is gorgeous. But yeah, let's bring all of our figures back into the frame for the end of this video. We got our baby Dibbles, we got our Toro, we got our adult Diabloceratops, we got our Mantellisaurus, or Mantellisaurus, Ankylosaurus, and Zuniceratops. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the haul video. Thank you all so much for watching. This was the end of part 1. Part 2 will come out way later this year. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh.